McCain's been doing it, calling the flag a racist symbol, for years, and he's still at it full steam ahead. After McCain, Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee's stand is a breath of fresh air. Waving a Confederate battle flag in front of Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney turns out to be like waving a red flag in front of a bull. He charges. Romney let fly in the CNN debate, saying that flag shouldn't be shown.
Now, that was the latest round of attacks aimed at Senator John McCain and Governor Mitt Romney for their views on the Confederate flag. Americans for the Preservation of American Culture promote the protection of the Confederate flag. Mike Huckabee believes the government should stay out of the Confederate flag dispute. Romney and McCain have been open about their contempt for the controversial symbol. Now, joining us is the author of If Democrats Had Any Brains, They Would Be Republicans, best-selling author Ann Coulter, and also joining us, former Democratic pollster Pat Caddell. Ann, let's start with you. Here is Mike Huckabee's line, and as I mentioned to him, if somebody came to Arkansas, told us what to do with our flag, we'd tell them what to do with the poll. That's what we would do.
Yeah, and he hasn't flip-flopped on it, so that's good. And I remember that YouTube debate where Romney said something untoward about the Confederate flag, and that was the only thing I said after the debate. Mitt Romney just lost the South. As Pat Caddell and I have discussed frequently, the brilliant aspect of the Civil War, the sort of amazing thing about it was a Civil War that actually ended. We're not like the Balkans. We're not like Iraq. We're not still fighting these wars, and part of the reason for that is the respect with which the North treated the defeated South and honored the flag. I mean, the flag, the Confederate flag that Southerners see as a symbol of heritage, which it is, never flew over any Confederate buildings. It was a battle flag, and our military is shot through with Southerners. And this really isn't a liberal conservative thing tonight. It's a northern-southern thing.
Pat Caddell, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts, you know, Ann spoke, we've talked about this before, actually. You know, my point is, look, for many Southerners, it's a cultural thing for many because of the Civil War. In fact, I thought that Shelby Foote, the great Civil War historian, put it best, said this flag has been stolen and used by terrible people for terrible reasons. And that is true. Let me just say about the flag here in South Carolina, I hate it seems to come up every presidential election. The answer is it doesn't belong up there. The flag was changed because in '56 is a sign of resistance. But the point is that it shouldn't be an issue in this campaign. And
well,
you know,
let me ask you this.
I think it is. It doesn't belong up on the Capitol steps, and I thought South Carolina was solving this problem, but it never seems to go away.
But it doesn't seem to go away, and it's as predictable as the day is long. Every 4 years, this controversy comes up. Ann Coulter, but going back to the words that I mentioned of Al Sharpton, who's gotten in this debate, that Huckabee has sought to divide the country between blacks and whites, north and south, implicitly supporting South Carolina's right to fly this flag. Is he saying that anybody that disagrees with him on the flag issue, in other words, there might be some people that use the flag because they have a racist view that they want to reinforce. I do not believe in any way, shape, matter, or form that is the majority of people's views.
Right, not in the South, certainly. No, I think what you're telling me Al Sharpton is saying is that he's accusing someone else of playing the race card.
Well, you know what happened is they took it off the Capitol in South Carolina. They made it part of a larger display on the grounds of the Capitol, but it still does fly. But I want to ask each of you, you know, Kevin Alexander Gray is former head of the ACLU in South Carolina. He's African-American, a civil rights activist. He says the Confederate flag represents slavery, racial oppression, and a deep-seated belief in the rightness of the Confederate. Hold on, let me get the question out, Pat. In the rightness of the Confederacy. If so many, and many people share that view.
That's preposterous.
If so many people find that to be so offensive, why hold that up and wave it in the face of people who are so offended by what that represents to them?
Because we don't have a heckler's veto in this country. Because, you know, people could go around saying, oh, the Klan uses crosses. I find crosses offensive because that isn't what it stands for.
Well, it does stand for that to a lot of people. It's one thing, the history of South Carolina, but
that's what it does stand for.
Not to you, Ann, but to many other people, that's exactly what it stands for. Okay, but it's historically
preposterous. It is ridiculous. The majority of military bases... Wait, can I finish answering this? The majority of military bases in this country are named after Confederate officers. Eisenhower, Nimitz. I mean, the list of Southerners in our military is legion. That is what it stands for.
Pat, many people find this extremely offensive. There's a boycott against South Carolina. People are offended. It is a very sensitive issue to African Americans.
I agree with that. I'm also saying that most Southerners, white Southerners and some black Southerners, see it as a historical symbol. It is not necessarily a sign, but I understand many blacks feel it is, and that's why it did not belong flying over the state capitol. State flag of South Carolina, comes from the Revolution. It's the crescent and the palmetto tree from Fort Moultrie, and that has been the state flag against the sea of blue. It has no Confederate flag in it. The Confederate flag does not belong on the state capitol.
So where does it belong?
Something historic and
over in Mississippi.
But
he's giving a particular example of South Carolina.
But Andy, you're saying it does belong on the state capitol land. Is that correct?
It has been used badly by the Ku Klux Klan and other people as part of a campaign of hate. And that has been wrong, and it is offensive to many white Southerners.
And it's offensive to many African Americans all over the country. And you say it should fly on the Capitol? Do you agree with Pat?
Pat is talking specifically about the history of the flag in South Carolina. They had a vote on this in Mississippi, and 30% of blacks voted to retain the Confederate flag.
The
specific history of the flag
50%.
going up in 54 or in the 50s, whenever it was, is specific to South Carolina. There is nothing dishonorable about the Confederate flag. It's an honorable symbol.
To you.